Director, what I find bewildering about this whole conversation is that we are not sitting here today, and the American public is not aware of the allegations of the president asking for a favor of investigation into his political opponent. We're not aware of the murky decision to withhold aid. We're not aware of Mr. Giuliani's apparent establishment of a personal State Department. We are not aware of a possible retaliation against a U.S. ambassador. None of this happens but for the decision of your Inspector General, Michael Atkinson, a man who was appointed by President Trump and confirmed by a Republican Senate, to come to this committee 7 days after the complaint was required by law to be transmitted to us. It was his decision, personal decision, not the kaleidoscope of fantabulistic conspiracy theories the ranking member thinks is happening here, but it was the decision of Michael Atkinson, an appointee of this president, to come to this committee, following not advice from you or any law, but following his own conscience. Without his decision to do this, none of this is happening, correct?
I applaud Michael. I applaud Michael's the way he has done this. He has acted in good faith. He has followed the law every step of the way. The question is, Congressman, did it or did it not meet the legal definition?
No, sir. I asked a very different question, which was without his decision, and it's a simple question. Without his decision, none of this is happening. Is that correct?
Well, we got to back up to the whistleblower as well. So
okay, and I should have noted that the whistleblower also deserves the same accolades that Mr. Atkinson does. Director, were you ever advised by the White House not to provide this complaint to Congress for any reason?
No, Congressman.
Okay. And as I understand it, the opinion was that you were not obligated to convey, despite the very clear wording of the law, to convey the complaint to Congress. So the decision was taken to defy a subpoena of this Congress, the subpoena of September 17th, to turn over the complaint. Who made the decision to defy that subpoena of September 17th?
Congressman, urgent concern.
Sir, I'm asking a very simple question. Who made the decision to defy the congressional subpoena? Somebody said we will not abide by this subpoena, and I'd like to know who that somebody was.
Congressman, nobody did. I endeavored, once we no longer had urgent concern with the 7-day timeline, to work to get the information to the committee. What I needed to do was to work through the executive privilege hurdles with the Office of Legal Counsel at the White House. Although this was the most important issue to me, the White House has got quite a few other issues that they were dealt with. I would have liked to have had, as I said to the chairman, that perhaps this moved a little faster than it did, but this is a very deliberate process, and finally, it came to a head yesterday. So when I received the information on the 26th of August, we had 7 days based on the Whistleblower Protection Act. All we did was lose those 7 days. It may have taken longer than we would have liked, or you would have liked, but you have the information.
So again, sir, just so I'm focused on the subpoena.
Yes, sir.
The subpoena is on your desk. It's a subpoena of the Congress of the United States. It's pretty clear in what it asks for. You're saying that a decision was never taken not to comply with that subpoena, and yet somehow it wasn't complied with. I'm looking for the decision-making process to ignore a legal congressional subpoena.
Congressman, I did not ignore. I dealt with the chairman of this committee and asked to have 1 more week to be able to do what I needed to do to get this information released. He was gracious enough, and this committee was also very supportive. It wasn't something that it was ready to go, but I was committed, fully committed to this committee and to the chairman to get that information, and I finally was able to provide that yesterday.
Okay, thank you, Director. Director, did you or your office ever speak to the President of the United States about this complaint?
Congressman, I'm the President's intelligence officer. I speak with him several times throughout the week.
Sir, let me repeat my question. Did you ever speak to the President about this complaint?
My conversations with the President, because I'm the Director of National Intelligence, are privileged, and it would be inappropriate for me, because it would destroy my relationship with the President in intelligence matters, to divulge any of my conversations with the President of the United States.
But just so we can be clear for the record, you are not denying that you spoke to the President about this complaint?
What I'm saying, Congressman, is that I will not divulge privileged conversations that I have as the Director of National Intelligence with the President.
Has the White House instructed you to assert that privilege?
No, sir.
Okay.
That's just a member of the executive branch, as a member of the National Security Council, and also the Homeland Committee. And that's, I just have to maintain the discretion and protect the conversation with the President of the United States.
Thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
Director. I appreciate that answer.